Welcome back to Retro Rewire. My name's JJ, and in today's episode we're going to check out Rayman on the PlayStation 1. Now this is a challenging game. It's a game that's going to test your skills and patience, and it certainly did that with me. You know, there was moments where I was just raging, fuming, and I wanted to quit. But despite that, I recommend it because it's also a game that improves reaction times and platforming skills. But before we go too deep into the game, let's go ahead and unbox it, and then we're going to dive deep into the gameplay, and you can see firsthand some of the challenges that will await you. So let's check it out. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the instruction manual. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is one of my favorite parts to film, and this cover is also one of the reasons why I bought this version of the game. The Japanese version of the game kind of has a unique cover compared to other versions in other territories. But check this thing out. When I see this, I totally get Smurf vibes. Rayman and the Smurfs, I believe, are both of French origin, so maybe there's a connection. I don't know, but you know, it's interesting. And then if we take a closer look, you can see that the actual image is pixelated. I mean, the logo is pretty smooth, but the image itself is all pixelated. Then here we have the game's final boss, Mr. Dark, and then Rayman, of course, and then other characters that are featured in the game. But yeah, definitely interesting cover. Let's go ahead and open it up. And then we see like a thank you for purchasing message, a quick synopsis of the game, table of contents. We can see that it's one player and that it requires 3 memory card blocks. You could have up to 3 saves, each one requiring a memory card block. And then here it's just going over the story of Rayman. And then here it's just showing you what button does what, and it's translating the in-game menus because the actual game, with the exception of the intro, it's all in English. So this instruction manual also serves as a translation guide. And then here it's just going over the rules of the game. You know, you have to complete all the stages. You have to find these little cages that free the Electoons. If you don't find all of these, you can't beat the game and you can't face off against the final boss. And then this is just showing, you know, how you lose hit points. This here is just discussing, you know, explaining the world map and the in-game HUD. We'll turn the page and then we see all the abilities that Rayman has. You know, he can jump, he can duck, he can punch. He has this little helicopter maneuver. He could also run. But some of the abilities like this helicopter hovering maneuver will unlock as you play the game. So that means that yes, you'll be doing some backtracking. And then here's just some more features like this midway save point. And then there's this little magician character that's hidden throughout the stages. If you find him, in order to play the mini game, you have to give up 10 of these little orbs. And then, you know, you play a little mini game, you beat the mini game, and you'll get a 1-up. And I think it also unlocks specific abilities, is what it's saying there. But then if we turn the page, you know, this is just discussing the different zones of the game. You know, things kick off in the Dream Forest, Bandland, Blue Mountain, Picture City, and then you can kind of see like the end level bosses for each area. The Cave of Scops, Candy Chateau. And then this here is just, you know, if you get a game over, you get 5 continues. And then this is explaining how you save your game. And then finally, we have the staff credits and then just like a general, you know, like a warning type of message. But yeah, that's the manual. Then here, you know, it has all the bosses and Rayman. And then it shows that the game retailed at 5,800 yen back in 1995. So it was a regular priced game. But anyhow, that's the manual. So let's go ahead and dive right into the game. And just as a quick side note, I'm going to be playing this on the original PlayStation and controller. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to capture a little bit of gameplay just kind of off screen here, so you guys can get an idea how it, you know, looks and runs off of a proper CRT, and then I'm going to go ahead and dive into a direct capture. Okay, and then as you can see here, you know, this is my save file. I have 0 lives, 2 continues, but I have 100%. So this is a, you know, a completed playthrough. So let's go ahead and load it up, and we'll go into the options. And you know, this is bare bones. I believe the North American version and or maybe the European version, or one or the other, you could actually put in passwords, but this version does not include that. And yeah, there's the Candy Chateau, Mr. Dark's Chateau. Let's go ahead and go to the very first area. And yeah, this is Rayman. Now you can't run when you first start the game. This is like an ability that you have to unlock. So running, this helicopter hover move, and even like hanging off of a ledge like that, that's something that you unlock. But yeah, this very first area kind of sets the tone for the game. You know, you're going to be doing quite a bit of platforming. Let's do a stage in Bandland. Now, Bandland, not really my favorite area. This area is kind of tricky because after you beat the initial section, the Dream Forest, you go here, but you know, it's like slippery. So this is like the beginning of the platforming madness. Here we go. See, now that little platform there, dangerous because it is slippery. See that? Now if you see you. But normally if you hang on to the edge there and jump on it, you won't slide. But if you're jumping directly on it, you're gonna be sliding all over the place. See, kind of like that. That's kind of the key. Uh-oh, what am I doing? And see what I mean? You have to take like these leaps of faith for those things to appear there, but you know, during your initial run, you don't know that they're there, you know, the first time you're playing the game, so it's usually going to cost you a life. But yeah, that's that. Let's go ahead and go into the Blue Mountains. This area is kind of cool. I did enjoy this area. Now there's this power up here, and that gives Rayman the ability to hover. You just kind of have to hover indefinitely, and you kind of just have to tap the button. And this is where the game starts getting interesting. Oh gosh. Gonna be mashing that button like crazy. Of course they had to throw spikes in there. And I kind of like to play fast with finesse. Now, you see, you have to explore, and normally there would be a cage down here. And I think a lot of my lives were spent just kind of like doing these little suicide runs to find all those little cages. I don't even remember how to get back up there. Oh, duh. Ha. Anyways. Oh, geez. Now here you kind of have to use your little propeller thing to cut the rope. Uh-oh. Am I gonna make it? Am I gonna make it? Oh, are you serious? It stopped, but brutal. But look at the background. Look at all that parallax scrolling. It's freaking sweet. There's no denying that this is one pretty game. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. See, a little bit of that rage is still present. And then you go, and that's the stage. See, some of these stages are super, or sections, zones, whatever you want to call them. They're pretty short. But normally there would be a cage up in here. But they're challenging. Short and sweet, as we say in the business. Okay, so now we're gonna do the direct capture, and as you can see here, this level does require a lot of like precise jumping and execution, so you can link up to the little platforms there. But I think by the time that most players reach this area, they're gonna be, you know, familiar with a lot of the mechanics that, you know, a lot of the abilities that Rayman has, and I'm sure you're gonna be flying through it kind of like I am here. And sometimes it's just a matter of knowing when not to jump. But for example, like these little red links, you know, once you link up to them, you have to jump quick because they start going down. And like this particular level is difficult, but it's also being patient. You know, I think the mistakes that I was making is, you know, sometimes double tapping X or just getting up too early, as you saw there. And this level, Eraser Plains, is the name of the level, and it's in the Picture City area of the game, is where I felt that the game was really picking up in difficulty, because this particular level does require quite a bit of precise jumping. And you know, I had a few silly mistakes, but you know, as I guess I'm the kind of player that likes to feel things out, and I don't mind, you know, dying a few times and whatnot, because I want to find like all the secrets like that. So it takes time. And yeah, see, like that, you know, I'm just kind of cruising by. At this point, I think I lost like 20 lives or so. If you look at my lives, I'm down to 0. But you know, that's part of the game. And you know, you have to explore all the areas, because see, like that, you know, like the little cages will appear, and when they appear, it's kind of funny because, you know, you're gonna have to do some backtracking, and that's where it can get super challenging, especially like this particular spot here. You know, there's just enough clearance to land on that platform because of that little pin, and take a leap of faith and boom, just barely. But once I cleared that, you know, you'll just go up. You can collect the little orbs. But that's you know, that's Rayman. Definitely like a masterclass game in platforming, I would say. And this part was actually hard to get down back onto the little platform, because you have to be quick. But then, you know, like I was saying, once I cleared that, pretty much a go for this level. I think there was another little secret in this level, but you know, I was like, I got all the cages, I'm out of here. And then as you play the game, you know, it changes it up. You know, you can go into like mini Rayman, and there's you know, these parts are pretty fun, and they're not super difficult. As well as like this, you know, you're just kind of like flying on this little mosquito thing, and it's pretty fun, it's pretty simple. And levels like this, you know, they also appear throughout the game, including you know, when you reach the very end, like this snowboarding type of level. And this is just kind of nailing your jumps, so it's not like terribly difficult. But yeah, that's Rayman. Okay, so we did the unboxing, we checked out some gameplay, and I think that we can all agree that Rayman is a fun, challenging, and beautiful looking game. One that I highly recommend, and as I've been stating throughout the video, it's one that will definitely improve your platforming and precision. You know, it is challenging, but with a little bit of patience and knowing how to use all of Rayman's abilities, you will get through, you will endure, and you'll become a better player as a result. As funny as that sounds. But it's also a game that's widely available. It's available on the Atari Jag, PlayStation 1 of course, Sega Saturn, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, PC. It's up on the PlayStation Network, and that version is compatible with the PS3, PSP, and PS Vita. So there's a number of options, whether you want to play at home or on the go. Definitely give it a chance, play it, beat it. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Retro ReWire. My name's JJ. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Skills, you know, encourages you to quit, but you know, I soldiered on and I got dive deep into some gameplay, and you can see firsthand some of the challenges that skills and patience, and it almost gave me a heart attack, but that's not good.